Boy, I was going to watch 60 Minutes this weekend and see what President Obama had to say and see how Mitt Romney was going to rationalize his 15% tax rate and, whether he had anything to say about health care beyond, well, hey, you can show up at the emergency room. Good luck getting a pap smear there, but you can show up at the emergency room. But when I turned to CBS, what was on but Big League Football? The NFL was on. And it went on, 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 and it turns out that there was a reason. So let's ask Dave Zirin, who knows about this stuff, knows a lot about this stuff. The edgeofsports.com, actually, is Dave's website. He's the sports editor for The Nation magazine, thenation.com as well. Dave, welcome back to the program.
Oh, hey, it's great to be here, Tom.
It's been a while since we've talked. What's the deal here? Why are these football games taking so long?
Well, because you have scab officials who they are politely called on the broadcast replacement referees. But you saw last night exactly the price that you pay when you have unskilled, lousy, untrained scab labor in a union workplace. And it's so bad, and Tom, you'll appreciate this, is that you had people like Scott Walker, Governor Walker, and Paul Ryan saying in speeches and in tweets that they wanted the union refs to get back to work, which is amazing on one level. But on the other hand, I think it says so much about those two men, especially Scott Walker, that they don't want skilled union labor in the classrooms or putting out our fires, but they really do need them on our football fields.
Yeah, it's really quite remarkable. It's rather startling. So where did this all begin? How did this start?
Well, this all started with the NFL owners, who are about as cosseted and isolated a group of one percenters that you're going to find in this here United States. And I know that's saying something. They make Mitt Romney seem like a man of the people. And these guys have operated from the perspective of, we're going to lock out these referees. Why are they going to lock them out? Because their contract ended and the owners decided that they had no right to their pensions. For as long as there have been NFL referees, they've had a pension plan. The owners said, no, from now on we want you to have a 401k. The referees said, well, why is that the case? We've always had this pension plan, and the league has never done better economically. Why would you take this away from us? And the owners said, well, we're not going to negotiate with you on this question.
The owners basically said, because we can.
Exactly, because we can. So we're going to lock you out. And that's a very important point, the lockout. It's not a strike, it's a lockout. And the owners have locked out the referees, just like the owners locked out the players last year, just like NBA owners locked out their players last year, and just like National Hockey League owners locked out their players, are locking out their players right now. And what all these lockouts have in common is the same law firm hired to execute the lockout and the same lead negotiators who are executing these lockouts. So this is about a conscious slash and burn labor management strategy that's in the world of sports.
Wow. And slash and burn with regard to labor. This is now even it's even hitting the players. Just an anecdotal question, Dave. My understanding is that the Green Bay Packers are owned by their fans. But other than that, if you want to own a football team, you've got to basically be a rich guy.
And not just a rich guy, but a plutocrat at the very tops of you have to have $2 billion of disposable income if you want to be able to own a team. And that's actually something that's changed too very much, Tom, is that the days of the owner who saw the sports franchise as their family business are as long gone as the trolley. Right. Those days are done. They're as done as the Buick Roadmaster. Nowadays, if you're going to own an NFL team, usually you've made billions of dollars in another economic sector, usually the financial sector. And these are folks who are out for the kill, and they're out for keeps. And they really do see lockouts as a very, very respectable labor management strategy because they're not used to losing. It's like you said, Tom, why are they doing this? Because they can.
So this is basically what they're doing, the Bain capital strategy.
Bain capital.
You know, they're basically just going in and they're saying, how do we screw the most money out of the workers and keep it for ourselves?
And that's how they keep score. And the thing about it that's the most egregious, as you mentioned the players before, this is the part that people really need to get their heads around, is that the NFL has done so much, the NFL owners have done so much to project the idea that they're very concerned about the health and safety of players. The owners just gave $30 million to NIH to study the long-term effects of brain injuries. They're facing a lawsuit made up of 2,000 former NFL players, including Hall of Famers Art Monk and Bruce Smith, who said that the NFL knowingly put them in harm's way with regards to head injuries. And now here the NFL is actually risking the health of players by taking the referees who are trained, who go through comprehensive training to identify concussions and to know when to get emergency medical personnel on the field. And they have removed them from the field for a group of people whose best refereeing experience involves enterprises like the Lingerie Football League. And I wish I was
seriously.
kidding. Yes.
The Lingerie Football League refs are refereeing NFL games now?
Yes.
I thought that they were just college football guys, because one of these refs the other day, pulled a wrong call and they were using college football standards instead of NFL standards, were they not?
Yes, but there is not one Division I level college football ref who crossed the lockout picket line and is out there on the field.
So they don't have even the cream of the crop of the college football guys. They've got the B team and the C team.
Yeah, and the D team and the F team, but it's really the S team.
And the Lingerie.
The Lingerie Football League. And also other people whose experience involves 8-on-8. One of the referees is actually a former professional poker player, and if you know anything about the NFL's wariness about being in any way, shape, or form connected to gambling, you know how dangerous that is. Usually they have such serious rules about any connection to that world in Las Vegas, lest it mar the integrity of the game. But to hear so many fans talk about this, and by the way, 1 million tweets were sent in the immediate aftermath of the game last night, commenting on what just took place.
That's incredible.
And it is incredible. If you consider that 9 million tweets were sent about the Democratic National Convention over the course of that entire week.
Well, NFL football pulls more viewers than pretty much anything else on TV. So there's a certain logic to that. You would think that, in a way, the referees for a football game are not unlike the judges and the jury system and the police officers in a democracy. I mean, they're the ones who enforce the rules, who maintain the rules and enforce the rules. And you would think that, just like in our democracy, we would want those people to be well-trained, well-paid, and impartial, that you would want, and the very best. I mean, we don't tragically have it. I've always said when we start paying our cops and our teachers, the same as we pay our doctors, we're going to have a much better society. But you'd think that the NFL would want to have their refs. I mean, they're the ones who are making the game work. They're lubricating the game. Everything flows through them. You'd want them to be the very best.
And the worst is that we're not even talking about that much money, Tom. I mean, this is so much more about ideology than it is about the financial bottom line. It's been calculated that they could settle this right now, the NFL owners, at the cost of $62,000 per team per week. That's basically what they spend on parking. They make more on parking in a given week, a typical team, than $60,000. That is peanuts. That is money between the cushions.
Well, it's probably what they make in their peanut concession.
Exactly. And if you're a fan of the Washington football team, you know that they were caught selling peanuts from Independence Airlines, which went out of business. They bought all their old peanuts and started selling them.
It is the Bain Capital model.
There's your Bain Capital model. It's just anything to vacuum the crumbs out of our pocket. But what they're doing is they're endangering their players and they're endangering the very integrity of the league.
Amazing. It's Dave Zirin, right?
Yeah.
Dave Zirin.
Dave Zirin, like a fire siren with a Z.
There you go. Dave Zirin, thanks so much for being with us, Dave. And edgeofsports.com. You can check it out. He's also the sports editor for The Nation magazine. Dave, thank you again.
My privilege.